course, the tractor leaves right when we get here. Right when we walked over there to sit with Matt, you took off on us. See how they're still green right here? They're easier to cut. Now, closer to the cane, it'll turn to wood, and then if you're trying to cut that part, it gets really hard. It's hard to see, but here we go. Here's a good one. So here it's already hard wood. You want to get it, cut it where it's nice and green still, nice and tender. See, it snaps. So now we can go up and check out the crew. Go. Primo, so's my cousin Jaime. Mateo. Looks like there's a little bit of a mad rush to get everything in before this next heat wave too. I see a lot more picking the last couple days than I've seen. So almost 2 weeks ago we had a good week, but we've had things canceled this week. The Chardonnay in Sonoma. We actually picked up a little extra pick in Carneros that we never do. But it was a tough, hard pick. It was light. A lot of dead vines, but we had nothing going on, so we got the job and try to keep our guys busy.
Is it like half of a normal harvest? Or how much have you guys done?
Probably a quarter. Yeah, no, we still got probably 1,000 tons out there. I mean, we're small, we don't do a lot, but yeah, I would say 900 tons still. And it sounds like none of it's gonna be picked. So this whole last month we should have been going crazy, like our head's spinning, and it hasn't happened. We've been sleeping, it's kind of crazy.
Because of smoke issues?
Yeah, because of the smoke issues. So when they called us for this, the guys are so grateful that they're even picking at all. Right here the terrace gets a little better. Up further it's real steep, so it's a little harder pick. We're starting to get down to the flatter section. Well, really, we were trying to buy it for years.
At least 10 years. Before the fire.
Yeah, when the houses were here, the price was double. So it was out of our range. And I guess kind of fell into our hands.
We got pretty lucky to get it too.
Yep.
So the fires came through here in 2017?
Destroy everything.
All the houses around, the neighbors, everybody.
Used to be two houses, the little house right there by the oak, and the main house on the other side. And it went through everything.
Yeah, all the neighbors.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy because right on the other side of this hill is Ubaldi, where we just were, and it skipped him. And it just jumped over.
But it got all the
neighbors. It got all the neighbors on both sides.
Yeah.
This is where the house was?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one house site right here.
Yeah.
And then the other one was just over there.
Oh, we can go through there.
Yeah, we'll walk that way actually.
Yeah. Yeah, this used to be the main house.
A little off-roading here. You can see all the rock. We haven't done much. We just kind of flattened it to drive here. And this is all the rock that we've been pulling out already. So you can't see it now, but that was all just burnt trees. So we leave these green ones that are nice still, but it's all just burnt and dead like that.
How does it feel like starting with the vineyard in a tough harvest like this?
It's terrible. You know, we just bought the property and this no harvest and everything, so it's no helping at all. It's the whole year's been pretty tough.
Just
Nothing right.
2020.
Yep,
Have you ever had a harvest like this, Chuy?
never. In 48 years, never see anything like that. No, even in 17, the 17 we have one vineyard.
It was kind of the flip though.
Yeah.
It was the opposite,
Opposite.
because in 2017,
This year
90-something% was already picked.
already done.
This year,
nothing.
90-something% wasn't picked. So
Right.
kind of flipped.
Yeah.
Chuy Jr., when did you start working?
When I was like, well, I've always kind of worked with my dad, but full on when I was 20, probably 21. I mean, I was picking grapes. How old were we? 10?
Or 9 or 10. Or he pick leaves and he
We used to put
he
the.
knocked it down one row completely. And
Oh, my dad left
Remember?
me at a vineyard before, and he told me, pull the leaves here. And he came back a couple hours later, and I took every leaf off the vine. Luckily, he came back before I finished the row. So that was my first leaf pulling.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
good one. I have to go in the office and tell my boss, you know, if you go to Yulupa, you're going to see a naked row. My son did it.
And
He
the
said,
problem
"Ah, no,
was, it was the first row, so everyone's seen it.
no worry about it.
Yeah, it's you got to pinch yourself every time you come here. You realize that this is ours.
Yeah.
So grateful.
Takes a
For
long
sure.
time, but we got it.
You know,
After we invite all the winemakers, who knows where,
what we're
where
gonna-
you know, that's the whole key. That's the best. We know 15, 20 winemakers, so we see.
yeah, we could have 15, 20
Yeah,
different
right.
varietals.
Well, just tell us what you want, and we do you roast.
Did you get your choice of blocks from Chuy?
Yeah. And we really developed. So the ranch kind of has two distinct soil types. So over where they've already staked, you can see that it moves into the much more classic iron-rich red series soils. So that's very much more similar to like Monte Rosso or Montecillo or Bedrock. And then you see this undulation within the valley where it kind of moves its way into these wider, more rhyolitic soils, which is kind of like the other volcanic type of soil that you see. So Chuy knows that Cabernet and other varieties do really well on those red soils. So that's what he's planting over there. There's going to be some Merlot down on this block. This whole ranch was originally Merlot, and Chuy planted it back in the late 80s or early 90s for Kenwood, and it was really good Merlot. So he's going to plant that there. And then what's really exciting about these blocks is like a couple of them, that hillside and this hillside, have actually never been planted before. So it was one of the few benefits of when the fires came through, the houses that were on the property burned, and he had a lot of damaged trees. And so he got a permit to basically clear the hillside, which is something that you wouldn't normally be able to do, but needed to do it because those trees will burn the next time a fire comes through. And so he was able to expand the plantable area a little bit. So not only is it really exciting that we're developing our own site here, but the fact that we're actually being able to do it on like previously unplanted soil in a valley that's seen grapes growing in it since the 1850s is actually really, really cool from a pest pressure standpoint, and also just from a yeah, really from a pathogen standpoint, it's very exciting. Yep, so it's kind of cool because we're going to have 3 different kind of subtle expositions here, which are very exciting. So this hill here, which is not staked yet, is going to be 1 block, and then that's going to have quite a northwesterly orientation. The block that we're standing in here with this massive pile of rhyolite is probably going to be the warmest block because it's pretty much due south in exposition, and it's going to roll down here. And then the block over on this side, which is also very, very rocky, this is actually going to have a southeasterly orientation. So hopefully we're going to be able to sort of tease out some nuances of site based on that. And we're right sort of in the back of Kenwood. We've got Ubaldi Ranch just to the north. We've got Rossi Ranch where we get some great Grenache just over the hill there to the east. And then we've got exposure to the Bennett Gap. We're literally across this little valley from the tiny little Puccini vineyard planted in 1906. And this site's going to be really nice because it's cool climate, but it's not like super, super cold climate. So we're going to be able to have some flexibility here in terms of, I'm not stressing out that we're picking it in like November, but it's also not going to be like where we are at Bedrock, which is a little bit warmer climate. So we're pretty excited. So we're planting Alban selection here. We're planting Estrella clone, and then we're planting the old Durrell clone, which is actually originally, I think, Australia. It's an Australian Shiraz clone from the Grampians, but it's historic to Sonoma Valley. It was planted here first at Durrell Vineyard, as the name would suggest, in the 80s. And that particular vineyard made some of the great Steve Edmonds wines from the 80s and early 90s. So we're trying to carry that legacy on here in the valley, and we're just really excited that we kind of get to see a Syrah site from its inception, and we're doing it in partnership with Chuy and Chuy Jr. and Epifanio and the rest of the family. So we're pretty stoked. It's very cool. And unlike Santa Barbara, where we also work with lovely Syrah, it's not a 5-hour drive.